Hello all. So here I am with the answers of chapter 1 lesson 6 workbook questions. This is related to the previous video which we learned where to solve for a variable. So if you have not watched the video, you have any problem in the lesson, please click the I card above and go watch the lesson and then come do some questions practice and then do the homework and then come back and watch this video for checking your answers. So let's start with the first question. Now the first question says answer each of the following. The formula C equals 2 pi r. Now regarding this symbol I already explained in the explanation video. So the formula C equals 2 pi r relates the radius r of a circle to its circumference C. So the formula for r. So this is the same question which we have done previously, but we have no choice, rather doing the same question again. So let's solve this. This is going to be C equals 2 pi r. Okay, which means we have to isolate the r. They said solve the formula for r, which means r should be equal to. Now we have to remove the 2 pi from here. This means 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. So opposite of multiplication is going to be divide. So we are going to divide C divided by 2 pi. So this is the answer for the first question. It's the same question which they had given in the previous, they had asked previously too. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The formula y is equal to mx plus b is called the slope-intercept form of a line. This is going to be a lesson for you for geometry. You will learn this slope formula later. For now, just remember that y is equal to mx plus b. Solve this formula for m. So we need to isolate the m. How are you going to isolate the m? Now before you do anything with this, of course you know that you have to remove this first, because this has nothing to do with these, the letter we are going to isolate. So plus b will move to the other side. That will become a minus b equals mx. Now mx means m multiplied by x. So we are going to isolate m because they said solve the formula for m. So multiplied when it moves to the other side, that means it will become divide. So it's going to be y minus b it's going to be y minus b divided by x equals m, or m equals y minus b over x. You write m on this side, you write m on that side, both means the same. All right, let's go to question number 3. Now for C equals D, now this is super simple. They're asking to solve for C, which means you need to get rid of the 4. This means 4 multiplied by C. So C is going to be equal to D divided by 4. Okay, my pen doesn't want to write. Pen is tired, I guess. Okay, so D divided by 4. It was a very easy question. N minus 6m equals 8 for n. Again, we need to isolate the n. N is already without any number, so it doesn't matter. So all what we have to do is move this to the other side. So what happens? N equals 8 plus 6m. As simple as that. Okay, 2p plus 5r equals q. You have to solve for p. Now before you solve for p, as you know, you have to get rid of the 5r. So to remove the 5r, it's plus, so it moves to the other side. That will become 2p equals q minus 5r, which means here 2p means 2 multiplied by p. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So p is going to be equal to q minus 5r divided by 2. Wasn't that easy? They're super easy. Once you understand the concept, once you know the steps what to do, the remaining becomes easy in math. Okay, this one, negative 10 equals xy plus z for x. So we have to remove the x. But before that, we have to remove the z from here because it's been separated by a plus sign. So when the plus z moves to the other side, that will become a minus z equals xy. Now again, x and y are together, which means x multiplied by y. So we need to move the y. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So that will give you 10 minus 2, sorry, 10 minus z. My z looks like a 2 for me. So why will you be not confused? So let me write it this way better. Okay. So 10 minus, wait, 10 minus z divided by y equals x, or x equals minus 10 minus z over y. Again, here comes that special question, a divided by b equals c. Remember in the video I told you what happens when the variable which you're solving stays down? These two change their places, that's all, but we cannot say that's all because we need to show the steps. So to start with, we need to first multiply the b with c because it's a divided by b. So to first we need to remove this dividing sign, we need to remove this denominator. So to remove the denominator, we are going to multiply with c. Now that we have multiplied, so we need to keep c alone. So b multiplies c. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So what happens? A over C equals B. They just switched places, but there need to be a proper way of switching places, right? As if you were in the class and you want to move to another place, you cannot just get up and go. You need to tell your teacher, you need to take your books and you need to take your belongings and then go. Same like that. If they want to change place, they cannot just change. They have to do the proper things, then go. Okay, question number 8, h minus 4 over j equals k. You have to solve for j again. Again, the same thing. They just switch places, but you cannot say so. So we have to show them properly. So this is going to be h minus 4 equals k multiplied by j. That means it will give you a kj, right? Jk, kj, whatever it is. So now it's multiplied. We need to remove the j. We need to keep the j alone, so we need to remove the k. So what happens? H minus 4 over k equals j. Okay, moving on to number 9. Now this is the problem solving question. It has two parts. Let's solve part A. The formula C equals 5p plus 215 relates C, the total cost in dollars of hosting a birthday party at a skating rink, to P, the number of people attending. So P is the number of people and C is the total cost. Solve the formula C equals 5p plus 215 for P. So we have to solve it for P. Let's solve this first part. So the equation given for us is C equals 5p plus 215. And they said solve for p, which means we have to solve for this part. So before solving for this part, we have to remove this. So when you remove that, that becomes C minus 215 equals 5p. Now 5 multiply p is written like this, 5p. So what happens is, to remove 5 from here, you have to do the opposite of multiply. So opposite of multiply becomes divide. So c divided by, c minus 215 divided by 5 will give you the value of p equals p. Okay, so this we have solved for p. That's the question. Now part B says, if Ali's parents are willing to spend $300 for a party, how many people can attend? So the total cost they want to spend is 300. So in place of C, we will write 300. Okay, because we have the formula already here. So we are just putting the value of C there. The value of C they gave in the question is 300. So 300 minus 215 divided by 5 will give us the number of people. That's P. So 300 minus 75 will give you 85 over 5 equals P. What's the value of P? What is 85 divided by 5? That's going to give you 17. So the number of people who can attend the party for $300 are 17 people. Okay, it's easy. Once you find, you solve the formula, you just replace the information they gave you. They said the total cost is $300. So in place of C, which is the total cost, see, they gave C the total cost. So in place of C, you replace 300, substitute 300 and just solve it how you would solve a equation. Question number 10. The formula for area of a triangle is A equals half BH, where B represents the length of the base and H represents the height. So B is the base length and H is the height. So the formula A equals B half BH for B. Now A, first let's solve part A. A is going to be half BH. We need to remove the B from here. So first let me write this clearly because it's fraction. Some of you might get confused. Okay. What does this BH half means? Half multiplied by B multiplied by H. Okay. Now to remove the half and H from here, we have to of course do the opposite, right? So that becomes A divided by half. Okay. We are solving for B, so that means we have to remove the H also. Now if you notice, we cannot write a fraction like this, so rather we write it like that, because that's a numerator, right? So numerator here, the denominator here. So the numerator 1 stays up and the denominator 2 comes down. That's what half means, right? So half. So if you further simplify this equation, 1 multiplied by A will give you, of course, A. As you know, we don't write 1A. So the formula is, the simplified version is going to be H equals, the formula says B, sorry. The formula says B, solve for B. So B equals A over 2H. Okay, so this is going to be how you are going to solve this equation. It's a bit different because of this half, as we cannot have two fractions. We cannot have one numerator here and another numerator here. Yes, you can have, but later on in complex numbers, but for now in complex questions. But now, for now, we are just solving simple ones. So keep the 1 up, the numerator, and put the 2 down. Okay, so the next one, part B, let me solve it here. If a triangle has an area of 192 millimeter square, so A is going to be equal to 192 millimeter square, and the height measures 12 mm. Mm is millimeters, so in place of H we will write 12, in place of A we will write 192. What is the measure of the base? So we need to find B. So let's find that out. B equals, in place of A we write 192 because they said the area is 192 divided by 2 multiplied by H, and the value of H is 12. 2 multiplied 12. So what's this going to give you? 192 divided by 24. 2 multiplied 12 is 24, right? Now, what do you think is going to be the answer? How much is 192 divided by 4? How do you find out? Just check. Look at this number 4, okay? Which number will give you something like a 2 when you multiply this? 2 fours are 8, so of course the last digit is not 8. 3 fours are 12, right? So, okay, there's a 2, so 3 fours are 12. We can consider 3. What about 4? 4 fours are 16? No, the last digit should be 2. What about 5? No. What about 6? 6 fours are 24, but the last digit should be 2. 7 fours are 28, nothing, right? 8 fours are 32, yes. So 8. Now between these two, what do you think is 24 multiplied by 3? Does that give you 192? Of course not. It should be 8. So this is how you mentally do math. Now this might take time because I have explained it how to do, but once you get used to do mental math, you can do it easily. Just you guess, like you have 3, so 3 fours, as you know, we are going to search for a number. 24 multiplied by what gives us 192? So 3 fours are 12. Okay, we have a 2 here, so 3 is one option and the next option is 8, but 3 multiplied 24 doesn't give us 192. 8 has to give us 192, so B equals 8. That's how easy solving math from mental math is. So hopefully this questions are easy and the lesson was easy too. Many of you would have got right, except I hope in this question. It's all right to make mistake. It's fine. You are learning something. When you make a mistake, you learn something new. So hopefully this video was a useful one for you. If it was useful, do like the video and leave a comment if all your answers are right. So let's meet up in another video. Until then, keep doing math and practice, keep practicing.